What's up, my friends in the film fandom, wherever you may be and however you may be watching? Thank you so much for giving us a little bit of your time. I wanted to go back to the horror well because I've got these two horror experts, these aficionados, these guys who are so intelligent in the horror genre, and I decided to pick this movie because it's obscure, because it's low budget, and that works very well for horror. What did I get? Well, I got some fairly interesting kills, and that's kind of about it. But, I'm not mad. We'll break it down more with my amazing crew, as always, starting with my hetero life mate, who just admitted he likes to wear women's clothing, but we don't judge. What's up, Jay?
That was adorable how quick he threw that in there. He really tried. That's cute. I like when you try.
I said we don't judge. We don't judge.
Yeah, you'd never know. But no, I didn't feel like dressing up like a clown. I tried to find my clown nose, which I thought I had sitting right next to the computer, but I don't have that. But I mean, I got party favors and horns and
there you go.
Shit like that. My clown horn is
Happy
broken.
New Year.
Yeah, my clown horn is broken to shit because I think we used it maybe a few hours into a night on our haunt, and it didn't. It doesn't last, but it was worth the few times that it did work. But I'm wearing a sweatshirt that Tex suggested to me. He needs to stop showing me stuff like this because I'm going to go broke really quick.
Once again, I'm sorry, Rachel, for spending your wedding money. I'll be better next time. I won't do that again.
My apologies.
The hoodie. Please forgive me.
I like the hoodie. I'm not mad. No, you know what? I think we're gonna get into it, but it's weird that because I can see Tex's quote down there. There are certain clowns that somehow just endear themselves to me, and I think maybe a couple minutes of this guy, I was like, why is he me when I'm in the haunted cave? Okay, well, I like this guy. This will be pretty fucking funny. So.
And of course, the shape from the Lone Star State, my man Tex. What's going on, brother?
Oh, not too much. Just, I'm here on Official Clown Business along with my brethren of, my idol, the great Captain Spaulding, to me, the greatest of the clowns. But you've got Art, Terrifier. You've got Doomhead from Rob Zombie's 31. So many that you can go there. Even the Joker from, whichever version is your favorite. There's something about a killer clown that I think we all kind of enjoy on some level, whether we admit it or not. I just happen to enjoy it a little bit more. So I guess I'll just quote Joker and, why so serious? One of those kind of things. So.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, serious is not how you should approach this movie.
Not
that it's bad.
Even the filmmakers didn't take this seriously. That's the best part about it.
It was entertaining and they had fun with it. So therefore, I'm sure the audience had fun with it.
That's the whole point. Yes.
I'm not mad. It was a fun time.
Yeah, we are here to talk about Stitches. It's a 2012 comedy slasher film directed by Conor McMahon, written by McMahon and David O'Brien. It stars Ross Noble, Tommy Knight, and Gemma-Leah Devereux. The plot concerns a birthday clown returning from the dead to exact revenge upon a boy and a group of children/teenagers who contributed to his death 10 years earlier. Stitches premiered in Dublin, Ireland on September 2012 and was theatrically released in the UK on the 26th of October that year. It was a failure both critically and financially. The film has a 42% critic score on Rotten Tomatoes and made only $630,000 against a budget of almost $2 million. However, Bloody Disgusting wrote that the film was, quote, destined to become a cult classic and carried heavy replay value. Dread Central, in particular, praised the film's kill scenes, calling them brilliant and remarking that they were done with such a rigorous sense of care and detail. Criticisms for the movie revolved around the film being an incredibly low-budget production, and the plot being nowhere near as fun as it sounds on paper. I mean, I'll go to you first, Tex. I mean, I can't disagree with a lot of this. I would have worded it a bit differently, but I don't know. Tex, give me some quick thoughts on the film.
Well, this is an exploitation B movie. This is a genre-specific exploitation movie that you're not coming here for highbrow anything. You're coming here to see clowns kill teenagers who are trying to get drunk and have sex. That's it. You're not going to get anything new. You're not going to get anything special. You're going to have a lot of fun as long as you keep it in perspective. And, when these critics get on these, exploitation type films and try to speak about it as if it's Titanic or some sort of, film on that. This isn't Gladiator. This isn't Shakespeare. It's a clown movie with a dead clown who gets stabbed in the face twice by his own admission. This is what you're dealing with here. So, I love movies like this. I was telling Frank and Jeremy earlier, I first encountered this movie on the old Chiller channel that used to be on satellite. This is a low budget, fun, entertaining movie that you can just sit back, turn your brain off, have some laughs, and just enjoy. And at the end of the day, what are movies not for but to entertain you? So, keep it in mind.
Yeah, Jeremy, how about you? Give me some quick thoughts on Stitches.
Yeah, like Tex said, it's not high art, I guess, in the context of what you'd consider that, but it's subjective because to people like me and Tex, this is pretty, I would call this high art because I was, again, impressed by...
Oh, I love it.
Yeah, I was impressed by the effects and the kills because the thing that I always get really happy when I watch a movie like this and I can follow up with an episode of Dead Meat because there was a kill count on this movie. And seeing it, I'm like, Dead Meat James is also very impressed by the fact that this is done with practical effects. And I'm like, yeah, it's a low budget movie. You can kind of tell, but like you wouldn't really know because of how much care and how much effort they put into some of these effects, some of these props, the prosthetics and stuff like that. There's maybe one effect that was, I think, computer generated that was a little wonky. It involved an umbrella, but I'm sure we'll get to that.
She likes it doggy style.
If I just do this, you'll know what I'm talking about. That actually made me bust out fucking laughing. And I mean, come on, the guy's got like, Arnold Schwarzenegger type one-liners for every stupid kill he does. So,
it's great.
Because I knew they were also, I'm like, these are all going to be specific to these kids and they're all going to be like clown related and stuff like that. But I think I do often sometimes forget that, this is not a corner of like entertainment that people seem to, look up to. It is just kind of like people like me and Tex who like this kind of thing and are entertained by it. And like we said, just turn your brain off, just have fun. It's an easy setup of like, yeah, there's obnoxious teens. There's a killer clown with who's on a revenge spree because they actually had an interesting kind of backstory to it. That there's some weird, like I almost said insane clown posse, but I don't want to name drop somebody. But there's little cultist clowns that have this whole interesting thing of like how they keep each other alive. That involves painting their face on an egg, but I mean, hey. It works. It gets the story moving, and I don't know what more you want. I thought it was fun.
Yeah, look, I'm one of the people that likes killer clowns from outer space, and as I've admitted several times, they filmed it in the area where I grew up, so I'm a little partial to it. But at the same time, I understand that it's not Shakespeare. It's not Friday the 13th. Right. It's not that level of horror. It's horror comedy, and horror comedy, while an important and relatively successful niche of the horror genre, is not the most loved part of the horror genre. I mean, a lot of true horror fans really don't like horror comedies because they are inherently goofy. I think this movie is up there with Killer Clowns. I don't think it's quite as good. I think the kills were pretty good. Mm-hmm. And that's one thing you have to get right when you're making a slasher movie of any kind is you got to get the kills right. The kills were creative. They were fun. The dialogue was not good at all. And it's kind of disappointing because I feel like the actors have potential. Just watching them deliver lines and stuff. They're obviously young. They need a little bit of refinement.
I think they were inexperienced, but
they're definitely on the young side. I feel like they've got potential there. I hope that their careers blossom and we can see them do other things. But past the kills, this movie was a bit flat for me overall. The best part really kind of was the killer. The kids, it was kind of like one of my knocks in the first Terrifier is that I didn't care about the victims. I said we did when we reviewed that movie that both the girls that carried that movie were the kind of girls that would have gotten killed the first 5 minutes of any other movie. I didn't care. It was that movie was all about the visuals. I wasn't connected to them at all. and that's what they changed for the second movie, which made it a much better movie. This movie, I'm just like, okay, I get it. These kids were assholes in the beginning at the party. The shit happened with the clown. The clown died. I'm like, okay. And then throughout the entire course of the movie, I'm trying to get with these characters, and it didn't take long for me to just get to the point where I was like, okay, just kill them so I can see it. I don't really care.
I will admit,
at this point, all I'm here for is I want to see the creative ways in which you dispatch these little assholes. So, and they're not killing kids. Yeah, they're like 16. It's the guy's 16th birthday party when all this shit goes down. They're not kids. They're not children kids. They're teenage. They're middle teenage kids. So they can die in a horror movie. I don't care. That doesn't bother me at all. Killing little kids, I have a problem with that. But killing 16-year-olds, once you hit 16, you're fair game to any serial killer in the movie, as far as I'm concerned. But let's move on real quick and talk about the cast. And I mean, there's only really 3 people that matter in this entire movie. It's the kid, Joe, I think his name was, the girl, and then the killer. The rest of the kids,
Tom, Kate, and his buddy. I can't remember his buddy's name off the top of my head now.
Well, like I said, they were just fodder for the killer.
Vinny.
But yeah, I mean, I wasn't, again, past the 3 main characters, and even the 2 of the main characters, they were really almost just fodder. I don't know, Jeremy, what do you think of the cast? I mean, was there anything that stood out about the cast other than the killer who kind of runs away with the show, Ross Noble? Who stood out for the cast for you?
Oh, I already know who I thought was the most fun character. It was definitely Bulger, the gay friend. Because he was the only one that I could actually tolerate who wasn't.
You're easier to get in than community college.
He had the best sass. He had the best fucking comebacks. And I know this is it's Ireland. I'm like, they got a lot of the same quips and slang as English people do. So, and I know what most of them are. So I'm like, it is just funny as shit to hear it all culminate back and forth. But I was with Frank, like the girl I said, who got probably one of the more inventive kills with the umbrella. I think there was a point where I'm like, I get it. She's a bitch. Can you just fucking kill her, please? I'm getting tired of listening to this bitch. Can we kill her? Yeah, that one.
Oh, come on now. She was my favorite part.
No, she kind of got the Paris Hilton treatment right there from House of Wax. I even said, throw that fucker, throw it. And I didn't expect him to do it. And he did. She did surprise me, though, because I thought she wouldn't put up a fight. I was surprised when he threw her down the first time. She stuck her high heel into his neck. I was like, oh, well, we got to fight her. Okay. But, of course, it's kind of pointless in the end. But I don't mind in the way that it is yeah, you get it. These kids are supposed to be obnoxious. You're not supposed to like them, and you don't really care. You just kind of want them to die. And yeah, and like I said, the only one that was going to be upset, I was like, oh, I don't want the gay kid to die because he's actually funny, and I could actually care about him. Also the cat. What the hell did the cat do? Why'd you kill the cat? The cat had nothing to do with. I didn't even know
there was a cat in the movie until he beat the shit out of the cat.
Oh, we saw the cat for
where was
one.
The cat?
We saw the cat in one scene. We're like, I swear the cat dies. I'm like, yeah, what'd the cat do? The fuck?
Everybody should be fair game in a horror film, whether you're a child, animal. Everybody's on the table for killing it. At least in my horror film.
It was the kids that killed him at the party. The cat had nothing to do with that. The fuck. It was obviously a very obvious stuffed animal, and I'm like, this is just more comical to me that he's just fucking beating the crap out of this cat all over the room. I was like, okay, whatever. No, I would go with Bulger, and he also had a pretty cool kill. I guess that's the thing is I've never seen somebody get their head open with a can opener and then their brain scooped out like ice cream with a little bit of blood strawberry sauce. That was kind of funny. Also, now I have a new song to add to my my horror playlist. I need to add I Just Died in Your Arms Tonight because that's spot on and actually hilarious. That worked.
Oh, really?
A classic 80s song. As soon as that came on, I started singing along with it in my head.
I heard it. I'm like, wait, are we really doing it? We're doing it. Yeah, I guess like Rachel just said, it was a super obvious stereotype, but still, you kind of overlook it. You don't really care. I go with him because, again, past the 3 main casts, you don't really, the other kids just die. I would like to say, I don't know what psychopath loads their fucking dishwasher that way that you leave a knife, like an obvious, Michael Myers kitchen knife, sticking straight up.
Actually, the big knives I will lay down in the top tray so they're not sticking straight up, and steak knives and stuff, I load them face up so that they get better exposure to the washing. But that's
I guess. But it's so telegraphed. You know, she puts this big fucking like 6-7 inch knife sticking straight up out of the washer. I'm like, why would you do that?
Oh yeah, they foreshadowed that really hard.
Yeah, I was like, oh, I see where it's going now. Probably some mishap. Now, like I said, this guy endeared me. I think Rachel even said it as soon as we saw this guy when he's at the party. He's still alive, and he's like, hey, shut up, pay attention. The kid's like, you're not my dad. He's like, oh shit, I might be. I'm like,
that might be.
I was like, I have definitely said that to somebody in the haunt before. I'm like, yeah, let me see what color your eyes are, kid. Yeah. So, but she gave me a good comeback to that. Because someone always wants to be like, Dad, are you my dad? And you just go, no. You know why? Because I don't make mistakes. That's she thought of that, and that's a wonderful mic drop that I have used on several occasions. Their face is priceless.
I don't know, Tex. How about you? The killer does kind of run away with this one, but is there anybody else in the cast that kind of saves the casting of this movie for you?
Oh yeah. Well, I'm going to mention the girl Sarah, the one that Jeremy was just talking about that he wanted dead, kind of the Paris Hilton role. I had to look her name up because I've never seen her in anything before. But Roisin, it's basically raisin, but with an O instead of an A. Roisin Barron is her name. And I loved her in this movie. She was so much fun. I mean, she's that kind of that shitty, bitchy kind of girl, which I'm always attracted to. I have a type. I can't help myself. But, she gets the main
characters.
She gets whenever the friend and the girl Mary are going off to, fool around, she goes, she gets all the cool one-liners. She gets all the stuff. She actually gets to fight back with the killer. She gets the high heel through the neck. Right. She doesn't just, she doesn't play the, right. I'm going to die, she'll kill me now kind of role automatically thing. She actually, you think she has a chance for a second. And stuff like this, that is important because, I mean, look at any good slasher from the 80s until now. The bad guy is kind of defined by the hero girl, the final girl, whether it's Sidney Prescott, Laurie, whoever it may be. Every one of these slashers, Freddy had Nancy. Every one of these slashers has, that one final girl that kind of is iconic enough to stand up, which Friday the 13th had like 4 or 5 because I kept changing them out. But obviously Sarah wasn't the final girl, but I could have very easily seen her qualified to be one, but she got a good death, so that's all, that's always cool. I mean, you get stabbed through the eye with an umbrella, then pull it out, and then open it up to cover the blood spray. I mean, come on, that's just, how creative is that? That's awesome. But no, besides her, I mean, I got to give an honorable mention here to Mary, Miss Laura Dempsey, because Jesus Christ, if she gets any hotter, she's going to just burst into flames. Good Lord, that woman, something else. But yeah, I got to go with this too.
I like the goth girl too.
Kate.
What's that?
It's like, let's take a wild guess which one was my favorite. It was obviously the goth girl. Obviously.
Right. I didn't dig her as much. I kind of saw her. I was like, next, and I was on to.
Well, I get because she was supposed to be the one who's actually not just completely an asshole. Like she at least kind of into the main character. So.
Yeah, for me, obviously Ross Noble kind of runs away with this movie. That was kind of the point.
Oh yeah.
I do like the fact, like I said, the one girl fighting back was actually a really cool thing. My biggest problem with that is I wish that would have been more of a fight. It's like she drives the heel of her high heel, the stiletto, into his neck, and I'm thinking to myself, okay, she's got some spunk. Let's see some hands get thrown here, and let's not see this be an easy kill. And then, like, it seemed like from that point on, it wasn't much of a fight. He kind of had his way with her, but. Even when she almost got away and then ended up taking the umbrella to the back of the head, and the whole thing with the eye and all that. I'll throw it to you guys again in case you.
She likes it doggy style. I'll say it again.
The picture there. I will not lie to you though. Of all the kills, this is one of my favorite because I was watching the movie as I was pulling some of these pictures up, and I hadn't gotten to this part of the movie yet, and I'm like, what in the hell is that sticking out of her head? And not having any context, I was like, is that pieces of her brain? Why is it colored so weird? And then when I actually got to that part of the movie, I was like, oh, okay, now it all makes perfect sense. And I like this kill even more. But yeah, Ross Noble.
I don't know.
Yeah, Ross Noble has he's actually got a background as a stand-up comic, and he's done a couple of things on like some West End stuff, things like that.
He's like a street performer and shit.
Yeah, so he's got the comedic background, which works out very well for this role, because this role is, and I don't want to compare it to one of the Mount Rushmore of horror movie killers, but it's got a bit of a Freddy Krueger thing to it, in which, like I said, one of the cool things about Freddy Krueger is just not that he has the claws and will slash you up in your dreams, is that he's got the one-liners. He'll taunt you and tease you. He's not one of the menacing guys who just walks around all silent, doesn't say anything while he's swinging knives around. He will. The verbal part is every bit as intimidating and entertaining from our perspective as the damage that he does physically. And this guy is kind of the same. Definitely not the same ballpark as Freddy Krueger, as Robert Englund, but it's kind of in that vein. It's like the one-liners, the way he plays with his food a little bit here and there over the course of the film, which is, it's always fun to see a killer do that. That makes me enjoy the slashes a lot better. The one thing that does disappoint me is the character Kate. So much more could have been done with her. I feel like she should have gotten better dialogue. I feel like both her and Tom's character should have been the primary focus. And they didn't really get to that point. And it's sad because, one, I think she's absolutely gorgeous. For two, I thought she had a pretty good camera presence, and I was waiting for that one scene where she really shined, and it never really came. You know what I mean? It's like, yeah, she was technically the final girl. She was the one who lived of all the girls in the movie, but I really thought that she could have been given more. I don't think they focus on her quite enough. I mean, I feel like
I think they miscast her.
I think as little as they focused on her, they probably should have went ahead and killed her.
I thought they were going to. Well, that's your like, as soon as they like show, like when they were little kids, like she's the one to give him a little kiss on the cheek when the first time we see him at the birthday party, and I'm just like, I've seen a movie. She's gonna die, isn't she? Like, she's of course like the neighbor. She's someone that he seems to have a pretty good interest in. Of course, she's with some other guy who's a douchebag. I'm like, it's going to suck. I'm like, this is going to come down to, and I thought she was going to die right at the end when they're like, oh, someone's got to stand guard. And he almost suggests like, hey, you go in there. There's an egg that looks just like this guy. And she's like, I have no idea what the hell's in there, dude. Just go do it. And I was like, oh, you're going to die now, aren't you? Shit. But she didn't.
I mean, to speak on her, I think the reason her final girl character is so weak is because technically this film had a final guy instead of a final girl. So she was just kind of the add-on, whereas normally in traditional horror, the boyfriend or the husband, he either dies halfway through or he just, he's not really whatever. But with the roles kind of reversed, I felt she was very weak. I mean, just on acting skills alone, I would have replaced the girl that played Sarah, the girl that I just talked about, with her as my main female lead. Looks, none of it doesn't matter, but her acting skills were so much better than that main chick. And I don't know, I think the main chick was they just kind of threw her in there and just blah, maybe she doesn't have a lot of experience. I don't know, but I thought she was very weak in this movie, to be honest with you.
And also, I don't think she did anything, right? As a kid, because they each had each kid did something to this clown at this party. I don't think she did anything to him. So really, she was mistaken it. Yeah. Yeah.
No, the one friend that tied the shoes, he was the one that slept with Mary, or almost slept with Mary.
Yeah.
Her and Tom didn't do anything. No, I think they were just bystanders. It just happened to be his party and whatever. So,
yeah.
Yeah, let's talk about the basic plot. I mean, there's really not much to say here. It's,
killer clown from the grave.
Yeah, killer clown from the grave, whatever.
I love the practical effects of that shot right there, too. Holy shit, that is awesome.
I'm going to sit here and sing praises about some of this practical work. This is really cool.
Oh, God, yeah.
Well, let's talk about the effects rather than the plot, because there really isn't much of a plot to talk about.
We get it. Clown comes back to life. Whatever.
Yeah, Clown comes back to life and kills the kids that he was mad at from 10 years earlier. Okay, we get it. It's kind of a cookie cutter horror movie plot. But I mean, let's go on to the effects now. I mean, the kills. I can't knock the kills. I mean, I think they were A level. I think they were pretty good. Jay, what do you think?
Rachel did just mention, Tom is the one who threw the soccer ball at him, and he tripped over the shoelaces his friend tied. So that is fair.
Oh,
Tom,
she's right. Yeah,
Tom did do
she's
something.
right.
So really,
I forgot.
I guess really, I don't think Kate did anything to the guy. So I don't know, but
Yeah.
love interest, I guess, and kind of a stake in the movie. Like I said, this is pretty much done practically, and I love when people do that. And this is that thing that we've always proven time and time again. You said, what, like $2 million for a budget? But I'm like, you do it right and you put the time in to do this. You don't need like 200 million, like a Marvel budget, to make something that looks,
Right.
Do we want to talk about MODOK from Ant-Man? No.
Oh, let's not. No, it's come
on. You shouldn't really be having. I know there's I don't know. Maybe there's a million other damn things in this movie, and I get it. But I'm like, with $2 million, and again, we have the right kind of people playing the characters. Like this guy who plays the clown. I mean, he's just kind of perfect for that role. I love that, he's got the deadpan, like, hilarious deliveries. He was like a street performer. He knows how to do all this shit. That is one of my favorite shots right there.
That's a really good shot.
He waves and then just flips them off. Like that's the kind of dark comedy I love. That's great.
Oh yeah.
But the way some of these were done, and I love that they did it. The only thing that I think I caught, and it's just because I'm a picky asshole, but I think on the one that was probably one of the most cool looking effects was when you put the air pump in the guy's head and like blew his head up, literally. I think for a second I saw some sparks. I'm like, I think I saw the charge in there to blow his head up. I'm like, I don't care.
Yeah. You
just slow motion like scanners this guy out of existence, and I'm like, that's fucking great. That's good. So some of it, and I can tell, and I'm like, yeah, you could probably hide. Like the first shot there when he had the knife in his head, he pulled it out. I'm like, I'm sure there was a pump or something in his, like, underneath his clown cap that just like spews blood everywhere.
If you go back and look at the side shot on that bald cap he's wearing, you can see like an extra bulge going down the back side of the head where they had the tube.
Because like usually it's a tube rolled up into wherever you're gonna have it come out. Like a pump.
Yeah.
There's a guy off screen like pumping up like a weed eater type of, or shit you like spray your weeds with, and you pump it up and let it go.
Right.
But I'm like, yeah, I understand how it works, but it still looks cool. Yeah, that it sprays right over his face. And some of it, it's like I can tell it's just like a black background where you just slow motion, just take your effect, whoever it is, and you just blow it up, or you fucking, I don't know. It was done pretty well. I liked seeing the slow motion stuff because like, the fact that it takes place at night, you can kind of get away with like just a dark background and you kick. I will appreciate he did do a Jason Goes to Manhattan, and he fucking launched that guy's head straight off his shoulders.
Yeah.
There was
a lot of homages in this film that I noticed.
Boom.
There was a lot of homages I noticed. Yeah.
Yeah. And I think even the cast of like the actors' heads and stuff, and I guess it helps that the guy had makeup on, so you could kind of hide it with like the clown makeup. But there was nothing that really nothing that didn't work for me. Like I said, the only weird thing was the umbrella going through her face initially. It was obviously CGI, but then it cuts right back to being a practical effect. So I can forgive it. And like I said, I saw the little shape charge in that guy's head, but I don't care. It was still funny.
The end result was an exploding head, which is never a bad thing in a movie like this.
Yeah. And he got his guts turned into a little balloon animal of a dog.
Well,
like, come on, that's great.
Y'all haven't even mentioned the best kill besides Sarah's death in this movie. And of course, it was a dream sequence kill, so I do have to mention that. But the clown teacher ripping the dude's dick off and then tying it to a balloon, and then blood just going everywhere. That gets 4 stars from me alone, just for that one scene. Just for the dick ripping off scene, this film give it the Oscar. I loved it. It was tremendous. It was, that's what makes movies like this fun. This is why I like exploitation horror.
I had to.
Because you get cool kills. They're still creepy, but they have that campy vibe to them, which is like a tie back to the 80s era, which this is, homaging from. And, films like this have just enough plot to get you to the next kill, to the next person, and that's all that's needed. You're not making, an epic here. You're not making Gone with the Wind. So for these kills, from the, tying the balloon knot or tying the balloon out of his intestines. Oh, does this look like a dog? And he's doing it, whatever.
Woof, woof.
If y'all watch this movie, make sure to stay after the credits. But it's like during the credits because it shows the outtakes. You get to see when he flips that umbrella and it gets caught on the camera that's above him, and then the shot where he has the guy's intestines, he turns around and pretends to stick it up his own ass, and he's doing all kinds of stupid shit and everything.
The balloon guy, he knocked the wig off. He's just like, oh, mine now. See, that's how you just roll with it. You make it fun.
Right. Well, that's what stuff like this is so good for, because you're not going to watch a Texas Chainsaw or a Halloween. You're going to watch a campy B-movie exploitation schlocky horror film. Why? I don't know why they gave this a $2 million budget. They could have done this on a lot less, but I don't know. It probably cost a lot to get that "I Just Died in Your Arms Tonight" song, the rights to that. God knows what that cost. But but the kills are so much fun in this movie. You get awesome gore. They're gruesome, which is what I appreciate. It looks real. It looks realistic enough that you can believe it, and you just have fun with it. So it's awesome.
I got to add that to my list now. Thank you for reminding me. I don't want to leave the song out of my. I've got a whole playlist of stuff.
Oh, I Just Died in Your Arms Tonight.
From horror movies.
Speaking of songs,
it's tied to that. So now I
don't know the name of that. I don't know the name of that clown song that they opened the movie with, but I liked that one too. That one really set the mood.
The Kill Count James, I think he mentioned what it was. I've got to go back and look it up.
Well, I'm gonna have to go look it up and put it on a playlist, because that had that it had a good beat, a good vibe to it, but it had that hint of the creepy undertone. They didn't just beat you over the head with, but it was the perfect lead into this kind of story. And then to go right into him doing I assume the dark haired chick was a clown horror prostitute, because she's doing the other guy later on in the movie. But speaking of homages, that ties right back to Captain Spaulding and the Devil's Rejects. Whenever the first time we see him, he's got the prostitute riding him, and in Zombies 31, Doomhead is the first time we see him, he's doing a prostitute. So there's little Easter eggs to all these other little clown horror guys, which I don't know if that was intentional or not, but I did appreciate it as a horrorphile of this kind of fan. So.
It doesn't say much about the soundtrack here on Wikipedia. It says the score was composed by Paul McDonald. The song "Dream Conjecture," I think that's what you're talking about now, was written and performed by Jonathan Van Adam. It also features the 86 song
I'm not sure.
Tonight by Cutting Crew. The party scene also features the song "Funk Epidemic," written by Danny Grolan and a bunch of other people, performed by the Irish group Mob Fandango. That's all it says about the soundtrack. It doesn't have a track listing or anything on it.
I don't know. I don't know who did that song, but
Stitches. God damn it!
I loved that clown song that they opened the film with. I thought that was excellent. So I dug it.
There was some. Let me see if I can find it on IMDb real quick, because I could have swore I read something about it on IMDb that would at least give us the name of the song.
Right.
But one thing I want to point out real quick is you mentioned the outtakes and the credits. That's something that movies don't do anymore, and they really should. I kind of miss that, the outtakes and the credits. Jackie Chan is actually known for putting outtakes in the credits. I don't think he's done it for a long time, though. Probably not since the early 2000s. But yeah, I miss that. One of the things I like about Basketball, the movie with Trey Parker and Matt Stone, is that in the credits of that movie, they have outtakes. And I've always watched through the outtakes because watching those is just as fun as watching the movie itself. Let's see, Clowns 1999 remaster performed by the Hollies.
Okay.
Thunder from Down Under performed by Tugboat.
Yeah, real.
Chasm performed by the Swords. Cruising by the Hot Sprockets. Night Rocker, Funk Epidemic, Go. Do anything I say, blah blah blah, a bunch of other stuff.
Some of these are just like the actual composed bits. That's not what I'm looking for.
Right.
Is it just called Clown?
Maybe. I don't know. I dug the song itself. I thought it, like I said, it's got I don't even know what kind of genre of music you would call that. Pop, rock. I don't really know what that would be, but it's got it's like I don't know, the perfect hue of, music that you would want going into something like this. And then you cut right to this guy in, a disgusting trailer on the side of a cliff,
I'm gonna look now.
I played into that.
Yeah, I'm trying to find it, but we'll go into the kills now, I guess. The kills were fantastic. I don't know. Tex, what was one of your favorites?
Yeah, like I said, for me, it's the dick ripping off scene, and then Sarah getting it with an umbrella, just because that was for the creativeness of the dick ripping off kill. Because I can only think of two other dick ripping off kills. That would be oh shoot, I just had it. And Hostel 2, the chick does it, and then Art does it in Terrifier 2. So there's something about horror sequels where they like to rip Johnsons off or whatever. But I love how crazy and kind of zany and campy that was. And then, like I said, the whole stunt choreography of the umbrella part and the high heel through the neck. I thought those really stood out to me as far as anything else goes.
Was it Carrie, the Carrie sequel that came out, I don't know, 20 years ago or so? They had
the Rage Carrie 2?
Yeah, the Rage Carrie 2. They have the one scene where the spear gun gets shot at some guy and rips his dick off and ends up going into the pool.
Oh, yeah.
I remember that one. I remember watching that in the theater. That's pretty fun. Not liking the movie.
I take that back.
That happened. I was like, yeah, that's pretty fucking cool.
Technically, there's one more. In Planet Terror, Quentin Tarantino, because he doesn't get the gas to keep him from mutating, his Johnson melts off of him. But
that's right.
I classify that differently. So, yeah. What you gonna do?
If a dick gets melted,
life sucks, I guess.
It counts. It counts.
Right. Technically, it's a dick disformation, so I have to add it into the list. So, it is what it is.
The penis is no longer there, so technically speaking.
Wasn't that the second Art the Clown movie? Didn't the guy get stabbed right in the dick?
Yeah, that's what. That's what I initially said. I said Hostel 2 and then Terrifier 2. Yeah,
I was trying to find that damn song. Sorry, I think I found it.
Yeah. No, you good. Yeah.
Hey, what was your favorite kill of the movie? You've already kind of talked about the blowing the guy's head up.
Yeah, that was kind of interesting. Like putting the air pump in the back of the guy's head and blowing it up, because that one I imagine took several stages of different like prosthetic like heads to put on, because dude was actually under there. That was kind of cool.
Right.
It's just like it's uncomfortable to watch because like he just can't really do anything about it. Yeah, the first guy just kind of felt generic. Like he just kind of did the little, I got a coin behind your ear, whoop, ripped his ear off, and then ripped his arm off for some reason, and then again punted his head off his shoulders. I'm like, okay,
it was cool, but it wasn't next level. You know what I mean?
No, because like I said, then you go right to scooping the dude's brains out like it's ice cream. I was like, huh? Okay. Jesus Christ.
They definitely escalated a bit as the movie went on.
Yeah. So, and I think the umbrella thing was kind of funny. She went to spit at him, and he just like opened the umbrella to stop it. I'm like, this is just goofy. Jesus Christ.
I did have an issue with the final kill of Stitches, though. Obviously the whole egg, the egg thing. Obviously this doesn't get explained because they didn't have time and we didn't get a sequel. But he basically gets curb stomped onto the egg to smash the egg, and then he kind of dies like the tall man does in Phantasm, where like color liquid starts shooting out of him. It's like, so why? Like, is this like his soul goes into the egg thing? How are we explaining? Like, they escalated.
Their soul's like attached to the egg or some shit. He did say, like, because when he was researching, he said, like, they do this thing with these eggs. It's like something for your soul. I was like, okay. But you want to elaborate on that? Yeah, that. Also, you can't tell me that isn't like, Paul Giamatti. That looks just like him.
I thought the same thing. I like a dead ass looks like Paul Giamatti.
It does. Right.
Well, that was my problem, though, is Stitch's initial kill is great. And it's comedic and it's campy, but it's gruesome. He gets stabbed in the head and then he falls back on the knife, or the knife falls in the air and, into his head again. That was cool. That was creative. Clowns are made of it. Oh, see, I got different kinds of chickens then. I've never hatched a clown. I've never done that before. I'm going to have to go, find me a clown chicken and whatever. But, Stitch's initial kill, like I said, was great with the, 2 stabs to the head. But the end kill, I guess, I don't know, maybe they ran out of money and they went over budget or something with all of the other stuff that they did, because they go extravagant each time they go, through these things. But I don't know. To me, that last kill was just kind of Now, like I said, for the callback to Phantasm with that, Stitch's kill was cool with, the goo and stuff, but I don't know. I felt that one was kind of lackluster, I got to be honest with you.
I think they did kind of mention that one of their influences was like Evil Dead 2 and stuff like that. So I'm like, you've got the kind of comedy mixed with like the dark horror shit and even kind of dark humor.
Right.
But I think it kind of went back to like Evil Dead 1, where I'm like, there's just shit of all different colors and viscosities and shit coming out of people's bodies. And I'm like, I don't even care. It's just happening at this point.
Well, have you ever seen the Phantasm movies, though?
No, I have not.
Okay, I that's why.
Years ago.
Well, do you remember the way that the tall man dies with that yellow fluid coming out of him everywhere? That's why I say with that orange liquid that Stitches had was very reminiscent. I don't know if that was intentional or not, but it kind of reminded me of it.
Or like the shot in Evil Dead where you definitely see the sweat coming out of the guy's fucking ear because he's wearing that suit. Oh my God.
God, I love Evil Dead movies. So much fun.
You just, like I said, you just got to turn your brain off and let them happen, because shit's just going to come out of people's bodies and they're just, they're going to die. So that's how I took it. If you said like,
I
those movies inspired them.
I did like at the end when like he's getting ready to die, he goes, "Fuck me!" He's like, "I never thought I'd be the one with egg on my face."
One more damn quippy joke.
That was a pretty good line. I mean, it didn't quite hit the way I would hoped that it would have, but I heard it. I was like, okay, I get it. I mean, one of the things that gets me, but this is more with the plot than the kills, of course. I just forgot to mention earlier. They had this whole weird subplot or whatever it is about weird clown cult or something like that.
I want to know more about that.
Yeah.
I'm like, that's a really strange thing to introduce in a movie and not to explore. I don't.
Well, I think if they wanted to do a sequel, they might
put another 10 or 15 minutes into this movie and kind of like flesh that out a little bit more. And I would have been too mad about it if it would have been interesting, because obviously you weren't blowing me away with the dialogue. At least give me some of the background of this clown cult. Because I'm sitting here watching at the end of the movie, they find their way into this crepe that is where all these clowns' eggs are, and apparently there's a lot of them. There's more than just the 4 or 5 that we see here. So it's like I assume that there's hundreds of these kinds of weird clown cult people, but where are they when they're up there looking through the eggs trying to find his? It's like, were they just not there? Was it not a night where they would normally meet? Are these people actually alive? Are they really spirits? I didn't really understand how that whole thing worked, because you introduce it in there and it's not really a part of the movie other than to show you that's where you're going to find his egg at the end of the movie that you have to. It's his Horcrux. I'll make the Harry Potter reference.
Horcrux. That's the word I was looking for. I knew it was a Harry Potter thing. I couldn't remember. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I mean, I didn't like it. They didn't expand on that a little bit. I mean, another 5-10 minutes of a movie to maybe flesh that out a bit would have been nice. But it's like you introduce it and it's not part of the movie at all. And then you give me this part at the very end where that one clown is like piecing together his shell of his egg that was broken. And now I'm supposed to think, okay, wait a minute. So Stitches is going to come back? Is he?
Yeah.
Humpty Dumpty's a lie. You can put him back together. I didn't expect the egg to just all of a sudden become like just like sheen itself back over. I was like, no, if he came back and his face was like cracked in the same places as the egg, I'm like, that'd be cool. I thought they were gonna, like, as soon as you see that and you see like his face and it's all cracked again. I'm like, that's cool. And then it just like sheens back over. I was like, oh, okay. But that means he's alive again? I don't know.
They could have took like 15 minutes out of time with the kids. Oh, here's the party. they could have took 10 to 15 minutes away from them and explained that clown cult more, and I think this film would have gotten over better. But you get so much the mom saying, "Oh, I'm going to be out of town. Invite your friends over." Cut from that to a quick montage, in the school of kids inviting kids doing their thing, and then get to the party. Scream did it. All of the greats do it. We don't need to elaborate on every single kid, because like half of the kids that they introduce you to don't even die in this movie. That's one thing I have to pull away from. For them to have that much meat in that house, too much of it gets away. You could have used the clown cult there to kill some of those kids or something. But there should have been more deaths in this film. We should have had more clown cult, and they should have edited this just a little bit differently. But that's just me.
I like the clown that had the top hat. The one looked like freaking Howard Stern right there. He was on like the left side of the screen. I was like, okay, he's got a cool look. I like him. Like, what's his story? Like, yeah, I want the top hat on the left side next to that weird Harley Quinn looking clown. Yeah. Like that's a look right there. And
you've got like the one that's to the right in the back there. It's kind of like an Asian looking kind of clown. And then you've got like on the right Indian front, you've got kind of like a hobo.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, they're very distinctive. They're very like variations of the clowns. I like the attention to detail, where it's not like they just went to a Spirit Halloween and bought 5 clown costumes and threw them on. They put effort into it.
The guy in the center, who is definitely not Paul Giamatti, looks like the original Caesar. Like Cesar Romero had that in Batman. I'm pretty sure that same outfit at one point.
It was very similar. Yeah, I thought that as well.
So
very,
I don't know. Yeah, that's
a
classic look. I mean, I get it. Yeah.
I think Cesar Romero's, whenever he's introduced, it was white with black trim, though. I believe it was. But yeah, it was very similar, like the
ruffled
the styles. Yeah, ruffles. Yeah. Awesome costume and makeup, though. I loved it.
Yeah.
I like the fact that it looks kind of ramshackled. I like the fact that you can see like along his forehead, you can see where the line is. Where
you can see the bald cap.
Yeah, I kind of like how it's real, like they put it on themselves, and not like there's some kind of spiritual. It's like Killer Clowns from Outer Space, where they're just clowns. They're not like people in costumes, at least not in the movie anyway. These people are actually people who are dressed as clowns, and they're in this weird cult that makes them not spiritual, whatever. And how the hell it works out that their Horcruxes are eggs.
They could be different cultures, and those clowns all could have died at different points in history, and they're all like in this one cult together. I don't know, like I feel like they have potential if they. It kind of sucks they haven't made a sequel, because I'm like, yeah, you could bring him back, but maybe explain that lore a little bit more about how there's this clown cult that they have eggs they paint their faces on, and that's what kind of is your catalyst of if you live or die. So I don't know.
Yeah, very. I don't know. Like I said, a lot in this movie they could have done more with. They just didn't. Yeah. There was some dialogue, some performances, but then again, I mean, you weren't trying to make the next great horror movie. You were just trying to make a kind of fun slasher where the kills were going to be 90% of what we really just watched the movie for anyway. But let's get into some trivia now. The medication that Tommy takes to relieve his anxiety is called. For this obvious reason, is called Hypnosil. That is the same medication used to suppress
Freddy versus Jason
in the Nightmare on Elm Street series.
Nightmare on Elm Street, yep.
That holy crap! I didn't realize that. Yeah. The whole Hypnosil is a whole plot point in Freddy versus Jason, because Freddy he possessed.
Look that up real quick.
Huh?
I wonder if it's a real.
Yeah, no. The scene where the knockoff Jay from Jay and Silent Bob that they cast in that movie, Freddy possesses him, and he goes pouring all the Hypnosil down the drain there at the hospital, Weston Hills or whatever.
At least because it is kind of like Freddy Krueger, because Freddy Krueger would also I think it wasn't the third or fourth one. He killed each of those people like in a manner that something that made sense to them. Like the druggie chick, he had like all his fingers turned into syringes and he like overdosed her with it. And you know what I mean?
You're
Like,
talking about Dream Warriors.
Is it Dream Warriors? Each kill made sense to the character he was killing. So it's kind of the same.
Yeah.
You know, like each of these kills was something that kid did at the party, and it harkens back to it.
Yeah.
I will say Freddy with the syringes is kind of my favorite one because it's kind of like Scarecrow from the Arkham games, like the Batman where he's got the fear toxin in the
Scarecrow. Yeah.
Okay, this is
I don't know what my favorite. Okay.
It says Hypnosil is a fictitious experimental drug used in Nightmare on Elm Street series of movies, specifically in Dream Warriors and Freddy vs. Jason. As explained in the movies, it is used for suppression of dreams, but has not yet been approved by the FDA. This is true for more than 15 years. The two movies featured is the mechanism is similar to that of an anti-epileptic drugs, except that it works during sleep time only, preventing the REM phase of sleep. It is useful against Freddy Krueger and the blah, 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 blah. There is a drug called Hypnotic. Yeah, Hypnotic, which is a real drug. Hypnotic or soporific drugs. It's commonly known as sleeping or commonly known as sleeping pills is a class of, and this is an umbrella term for psychoactive drugs whose primary function is to induce sleep. So it's not like a melatonin. It's actually a psychoactive drug.
Okay.
And to induce sleep or surgical anesthesia and to treat insomnia. Let's see. The term sedative drugs, the term claim relieve anxiety, the term hypnotic. Well, I mean, it says right here that relieve anxiety, so maybe there's something to it there. The term hypnotic generally relates to drugs whose main purpose is to initiate, sustain, or lengthen sleep because these two functions frequently overlap and because drugs in this class generally produce dose-dependent effects ranging from blah, blah, blah. They are often referred to collectively as sedative hypnotic drugs.
Yeah.
So
I think in this movie they were anti-anxiety meds or something. So there is something to it.
Yeah, I'm guessing that's what it is. I mean, he obviously has anxiety. I mean, from this shit. I would imagine any 10-year-old who experienced that might have some anxiety.
Yeah, no shit.
But,
that's what I was... Oh,
go ahead. Tell me go on the next one. Go ahead.
Oh no, I was just going to say, back to the nods to other horror. There were multiple, scenes where it goes back to the, Tim Curry Pennywise. You had the Freddy Krueger stuff. You had multiple things going with there. That, like I said, that it's fun for the horror fans to kind of dig and find these things with this kind of stuff because there's quite a few in this movie. I actually liked looking for them.
I'm surprised. I think the kid that got the balloon animal out of his intestines, I think his name was Richie. I'm surprised he didn't come up behind him with the horn and be like, beep, beep, Richie, and then kill him. That would have been funny. Or the guy, he knocked his head off his shoulders. He's like, yeah, well, they kind of said like, oh, he's floating around here somewhere. I'm like, son of a bitch.
Oh, he said he had to head off. That's what he said. He said
he had to head off. But someone asked like Tom, like, where is he? He's like, I think he's floating around here somewhere. I'm like, yeah, he's floating in the pond somewhere.
It's a shame that they didn't use a red balloon instead of a blue one for that dick floating scene, because that could have been another one as well.
You could have even played the song 99 Red Balloons. That would have been funny.
Right. There you go.
Some more 80s in there, yeah.
Jeremy had mentioned earlier maybe if there were a sequel ever made to this movie, that the cracks or scars in his face could match the wounds on the egg. I don't know if you noticed this at the beginning of the movie when he was on the way to the party. His vehicle has a left headlight X'd out, just like the scar he eventually receives from the
I see it now. As soon as I'm like, oh god, that's
I didn't even think about that.
Well, and the car is like pieced together from like several different pieces. The hood's a different color. The doors are different. Like maybe each part of his body could look different.
I love the fact that
he's gonna look like Sally from Nightmare on Elm Street or Nightmare.
It's kind of fitting that Casey's here because you could call that the McDonald's or the Ronald McDonald car, being bright, yellow and red as well. So maybe that was Thurman is Raw. There you go. You go get your Thurman is Raw shirts at Spreadshirt, whatever the crap is. I'm sure Frank has a link for it.
Put the link.
Yeah, once it gets approved, Casey can make a whole Maybe Casey can get enough to get him a bag of chicken nuggets or something. We just can't never tell. But
he can upgrade from the 4-piece nuggets and the kids meal to like a 10-piece maybe.
He can finally get that supersized meal. By God, he can be living in high cotton that day. But
you can supersize me.
Keep the change, and he walks off like a pimp. But no, that clown car was cool. Though. I dug that. I mean. I love retro Halloween decorations, and that clown head on that car screams like 70s era Halloween clown something or another. I love that. That's something I would like put in my yard or something. It looked so cool on top of that car.
It kind of reminds me, it's not even like really the same type of, but like it reminds me of the clown from Air Bud that Michael Jeter played. Like he had that big obnoxious like clown head on top of his truck, and it's like he's a low rent clown for hire that just sucks at his job. Kind of reminded me of that.
What's that clown? They just did a show about it on Peacock. Where he has fire for hair.
I'm talking about the Sweet Tooth.
Oh yeah, Sweet Tooth.
Sweet Tooth. He doesn't Sweet Tooth have like the clown on top of his car as well?
He's got like a big ice cream machine truck that's got the fucking
yeah.
That's iconic.
I was trying to remember where is that from, but I couldn't place it. I knew it was from somewhere though. It was
Sweet Tooth from Twisted Metal.
Twisted Metal, thank you. Yeah, I couldn't remember what it was.
I still haven't seen that. I mean, like I played Twisted Metal before. I just never saw the.
It's actually quite funny. If you have Saturday free, you'll probably be able to blow the entire 8 episodes on Saturday. The episodes are only about a half hour long each, but it's actually a fun show to watch. I was amused by it. It's much more comedy action than it is it's not like if you're watching and expecting to see something like Last of Us, it's not that.
No.
It's not that at all.
There's nothing that deep about Twisted Metal. It's you have cars and you try to kill each other. It's like a demolition derby. What was that movie a few years ago? Death Race. It's like that. Yeah. It's just like who cares? It's just these over the top characters trying to kill each other in this race. Where you can die. Die for it. So
it's actually quite a fun movie to watch. Or quite a fun show to watch. If you guys get a Saturday to burn or a Sunday or a day to burn,
I might try it.
You can probably blow through it in a few hours. Like I said, there's 8 or 10 episodes. They're only about a half hour long each, so you'll be able to blow through a good chunk of it in one sitting. But on to some more potential casting news, and this is where this gets really, really fun. Quentin Tarantino was offered the part of Stitches. And Mark Hamill. Mark Hamill came very close to actually being cast in the role.
Dude, if Mark Hamill would have done that,
how cool would that have been?
Oh, that would have been great.
Oh,
and no shitting on Ross Noble at all. He was very good in the role. But I mean, you're talking about
of course not. No, he was great. Yeah.
You're talking the Joker though, the Joker could have actually done.
I'm gonna have to go Tarantino. I think creepy Tarantino would have done wonders with this role.
He's got that dark edge to him too, a little bit. Where I'm like, he could have done the same kind of line delivery and shit. Yeah, this movie right up Tarantino's alley because you know him. He likes to go over the top and blow people's heads off in the back of a car. And
if Tarantino had played Stitches, there would have been some kind of feet thing he does to one of the chicks at some point in the movie. That would have insert creepy clown.
Rachel even said it. Not enough feet for Tarantino. Yep, I know.
Right. Well, there's
you got to think in Planet Terror. Maybe that's what he was after. Planet Terror. I don't know why he was after. She didn't have a leg. So
you had Smoking Hot Mary laying there and half naked in the bed. He could have popped up behind her and said, "Oh, nice feet, honey," and then done something. I don't. You could have inserted feet stuff for Tarantino.
When that chick put that fucking high heel into his neck, he could have slipped her foot out and licked it and then fucking killed her. I don't know.
Yeah,
that would have made that scene a little cooler.
There's your moment. There's your moment right there. Yeah,
I dig it.
We talked a minute ago about the Horcrux, how that's kind of what the egg is. Did you guys know that, remember, this is 2012, so fresh off of everything Harry Potter, Daniel Radcliffe was actually offered the role of Tom.
You know what's really weird? I don't know why. The way his accent and the way his voice sounded, for some reason, he sounded like Daniel Radcliffe. So I don't know. I'm like, he sounds like Daniel Radcliffe. He looks like a young Drake Bell. I was like, I'm so fucking confused about this guy.
I'll be honest with you. I can't tell one British accent apart from another. That they all kind of blend for me. So they all sound just alike. So
there are different ones, but man, it's the way he inflected his voice and the way the accent went. It sounded just like Daniel Radcliffe. I don't know.
Yeah,
it's weird.
There's like the proper British accent, and then they have like the Cockney accent.
The Cockney,
really. It's. I would imagine that. I think the folks in the UK consider that like how we like there is a normal American accent, and then you have like some people like Tex and people like that have a Southern drawl. I think the Cockney accent
it's more over
to English is that more like it's that to them it's the Southern drawl.
Even though I think they're up north.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, well, there's like the Northern Irish.
The kid that played Tom, I had to Google to make sure that wasn't the kid that played Carl from Walking Dead, because he looks just like him.
He didn't look a lot like him.
I'm like, wait, is it? I know Carl's not English, but like maybe he did like an accent or something, because they look just like. Especially if you go look at Carl from like season 2 and 3 when they're in the prison. Like he kind of has that same kind of haircut. They could be brothers. Like it is shockingly how close they look, and like even build wise. So,
how many people in Walking Dead are actually English and they're doing not only an American accent,
right?
But like we said, a Southern
Andrew
American
Lincoln
accent.
is as British as they come. I mean, it's and the governor too.
The governor.
I mean, when you hear the governor talk. Yeah, it's shocking how well he does a Southern accent.
Morgan's English too, so is Maggie. It's like it's fucking weird, man. There's a lot of them. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know, but yeah, I was like, I don't think that's Carl, but I need to check just in case because he looks very similar. But I don't know. It is what it is.
Because I thought he looked like a young Drake Bell. I don't know. That was just me.
He does got a little bit of a Drake Bell thing about him. I mean, I knew it wasn't him, but. He doesn't.
I don't think I know who Drake Bell is. I can't compare that one.
Drake and Josh.
He was in that the Red Dawn remake that came out with several years ago. That kind of came.
Yeah, he was Chris Hemsworth's brother. He was playing the Charlie Sheen role. That's Josh.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Actually, he was in Oppenheimer. He was the one that threw the switch.
Yes.
Yeah.
I don't know what Drake and Josh is, but I saw the Red Dawn thing.
I forget. I think Texas is a little too old for that. That's more my time.
It's a Nickel. I've seen episodes of it. It's a Nickelodeon. It was a Nickelodeon show in the early 2000s.
Yeah, I didn't.
Something
like that.
Yeah.
I've seen bits and pieces of it.
I was more of a Cartoon Network kid than Nickelodeon or whatever.
I was too, but there was some good stuff that they came out with.
Yeah.
One more piece of trivia: the Stitch's death is seemingly foretold in the opening scenes where the kids are playing in the front yard. One boy trips over, a second is hit in the head with a soccer ball and gets his glasses knocked off his left eye. Stitch's death: he's hit in the head with a football, trips over his tied laces, and impales his left eye on the knife. Not once, but twice, as it turns out.
Yeah. And then it happens again.
I did like that symmetry.
Deja fucking vu. God damn it.
Well, I thought it was cool how they, obviously whenever they, in the beginning, you see the younger kids and then 6 years later they jump. They do like the whole, like you see the older version and then like in the corner of the screen, you got like a little blurb of who is who. And they tied well with the symmetry of the before and after, even during the kills, it kind of seems like. But I like how you don't see a lot of movies that do that. It kind of felt kind of like a Final Destination kind of influence or something on there. I thought that was cool as well.
I don't know if I'm going to give this movie that much credit, but I see what you're getting at.
No. I'm not saying they did. I'm saying to a horror fan who has seen a bunch of this stuff, that's what it kind of felt like, and I appreciate it. So it was probably unintentional, but whatever.
But that's the only trivia I had about this movie. There wasn't.
It's a pretty easy plot forward movie. It's not. Yeah, it's not high.
Like I said, sometimes a low look. I've said it before. Horror lends itself to low budget. The more time honored films were not made for $150 million. They were the ones that were made for $5 or $10 million. They were almost independent movies. I mean, the first Friday the 13th was not a big budget movie. The first,
Texas
Nightmare on
Chainsaw.
Elm Street, Texas Chainsaw they made for bus fare. I mean,
Halloween probably.
Yeah.
Even.
Those great movies that spawned big franchises and ended up getting bigger budgets and bigger releases and stuff. But when they were first created, the creative vision was something done on a shoestring budget. So horror is the one genre that lends itself to low budget. It seems like the lower the budget, the more honest and good to the genre the movie is going to be. This movie kind of does it. I mean, it got the kills right, like I said. The plot, meh. I mean, clown wakes up and attacks the kids that got him killed. I mean, it's not even
to be
just
fair,
like
he did
clown.
get an invitation.
Yeah, true.
It blew right to his grave.
It did get the invitation, but it's look. We've seen somebody come back from the dead in one way, shape, or form to go after the people who were responsible for his death in many different ways. I mean, look, that's basically what Friday the 13th, or not Friday the 13th, but Nightmare on Elm Street is. It's Freddy Krueger's coming back to kill the people, to kill the children of the people who killed him. I mean, so it's not a new thing, but I mean, it's all in the presentation. The presentation here was, I'll give it a C if I had to give it a grade. The presentation was a C. The comedy in it was good. It's a comedy horror that leans a little bit more towards the comedy. I like my comedy horror to lean a bit more towards the horror and not the comedy. But this one, it seemed to work out a little bit better to have more comedy in it than horror, because there wasn't enough of the story in this movie to kind of carry why he was doing it or what he was doing, or to even make me care about the people that he was chopping up. At this point, I'm just watching it because I want to see what's next, and whether he's scooping out someone's brains like strawberry ice cream, or using his little balloon pump to blow up somebody's head and explode it, or whatever. Or it's that's kind of what this whole movie is all about. But let's go ahead and start to wrap things up there. I mean, because there's not really a whole lot more to say about this movie. Jeremy, I'll go to you. Yeah, Jeremy, I'll go to you first. Give me your final thoughts on Stitches.
I'm glad this, again, I know I've already said this a few times, but I'm glad it was mentioned, because seeing something that I hadn't ever heard of, obviously, let alone seen before, and being somebody who's, I appreciate even goofy horror, because, it's got that weird, like I said, I'm a haunt actor. This is kind of my vibe right here. It's like, you kind of have to throw a little funny jab into somebody, but also I might bash your head in now. You know what I mean? So it hits all those fun tones. And the kills, like I said, the kills were the most important part, I guess, of a horror movie. And the fact that they did it practically, I can definitely give you all the props in the world for that. Because, again, I could tell a lot of care went into making each one and making them unique, but also unique to the person that was being killed. So visually, it was a lot of fun. I don't even care if, again, I saw the little shape charge in the guy's head, but I don't care. It's still funny. Very inventive, because I know we said back in the day, Jason Voorhees, I'm pretty sure, has part of the most kills out of any of the slashers, but also the most inventive ones. So when you still find a different way to kill somebody, I think Jason's got the most body count. Right?
I think
he's pretty up there.
I think Halloween Kills put Michael over the top, because he kills almost 30-something people in that movie. And then Halloween Ends, because Michael's had more movies than Jason has. So I think technically Myers has more.
That's true, but then do you want to take into account the fact that they retconned fucking all of them? So it's those didn't really count, but I don't know. I
don't know.
No, maybe you're right. He does kill a lot of people in that movie.
I think officially, I believe Myers is on top, because he's had the most opportunity to kill more than Jason.
Yeah,
we haven't had a Friday the 13th since 2009. So
I was gonna say it has been a hot minute.
Right.
But I would definitely I'd put this guy in there as it's the right actor doing the right kind of portrayal of this killer clown. So this was a fun watch. It's just, I don't really care. Just turn your brain off, scoop your brain out, whatever you want to do. Just enjoy the movie. A little strawberry sauce, or whatever he was eating, the little cans of cherries or something, whatever.
Right.
Tex, give me some of your final thoughts on Stitches.
This is like I said, this was one it was a revisit for me. It's been many years. It's like I said, it's probably 2015 or 16 since I last saw this movie. But I was happy to come back to it. Films like this is why I love Tubi so much, because you get stuff like that. It's cheap. It's low budget. It's kind of going back to the old way of, oh, that poster looks cool. I don't know anything about it, and there's no trailer, but I'm going to watch it anyways. And when you watch stuff like this, you have fun. It's a fun genre film. It's this film isn't going to bring anybody into the horror fandom, but this movie is made kind of like a Terrifier for the hardcore horror fan. Once you've seen all of the other big slashers, then you can go watch Stitches, So, yeah, if you haven't seen this one, I couldn't recommend it anymore. And, it's just a lot of fun to watch. It's only like 120 or an hour 25 with credits. Yeah, it's not a long movie. And it had slow paces with the team parts. We could have used more clown stuff, but, overall, I'm happy. I'd give it like a C plus. It's not great, but it's good. So.
Oh, God.
No, go ahead, Jay. Go ahead.
I was trying to look at what they were called. Like Tex said, I've done that before, where I've just gone to a store and just saw a movie on the shelf. I don't know anything about it. I just looked at it and I'm like,
that's how we used to do it, man. When we went to Blockbuster.
I know. I've mentioned that. I'm like, yeah, I used to. That's because this was in the time I went to Blockbuster, went to Hollywood Video, and I'm like, you know what I'm talking about, do you, kid? No, go play your Fortnite. Shut up. But I've done that with several movies. I think even Zombieland, which is a big, well-known one. I just saw that and I was like, who's the hot chick with the chainsaw? I'm watching this movie. I don't care. So, that started my love for Emma Stone. So there's that rabbit hole I went down. There were two movies. I remember what they're called. Chernobyl Diaries. I just saw it and I thought, that's fun. I'll buy it. I don't care. It was interesting. It's kind of weird. And another one was called Greystone Park. Was it a found footage? Yeah, it's like a found footage. Also in 2012, and they go to where is it? They go to an abandoned psychiatric hospital to explore the building, and then of course they discover very quickly they're not alone. That's more of like a hey, there's something you can't see, and it's going to ragdoll your body across the building, and you can't do anything about it. Like that's horrifying. Yeah, you know what I mean. So, was it a great movie? No, but I just thought it was interesting. So. I get it. I've done that before, just based off of looking at something. Ooh, hello. Yeah, and that's how I found The Walking Deceased as well. I found that goofy ass fucking movie. The Walking Deceased is amazing. I'm sorry. You want to make fun of every zombie film in one fucking go? Watch that shit. It's so great.
Yeah, Jeremy talks about just like stumbling across movies. That's kind of how I picked this movie. I was just rolling through Tubi and I was like, this one looks kind of interesting. I kind of liked the little post, the little icon they had the poster. Then I read it and I was like, clown comes back to life 10 years after his death to haunt the kids from a party. I was like, yeah, I'll give it a go. It sounded interesting. That's why I was like, I'm gonna throw it in here. Have some fun with it. We'll give the low budget B rate of $2 million. We'll give the unknown, unheard of, random, obscure horror movie a chance because sometimes those are real winners. Look, I know it sounds like I've kind of shit on the movie a little bit over the course of this review, but to be honest, I'd watch it again. I'd sit with my kids and watch this for shits and giggles. I mean, my kids laugh at Terrifier, so I know they're going to laugh at this. I mean,
they'll have fun with it. Yeah, 100%.
I like it.
Yeah, it's like if nothing else, like the one-liners are worth it. I mean, the general humor of it all. Like I said, Ross Noble's got this comedy background, and he's a comedic serial killer, which is like that's inherently strangely scary in its own way, but at the same time, it kind of deadens the dread that you might get from some serial killer movies where you wonder if he's around this corner, and it makes it a little funner. It approaches it from a different. It makes you feel differently. So, but yeah, I mean, it's a movie that I'll watch again eventually. I mean, if I'm just sitting around and I can't find anything else to watch, it's like I'll put this movie on again and I'll try to examine it a bit more than I did the first time I watched it. Because the first time I watched it, I was trying to let the movie wash over me. The second time I would go back, I would try to catch some things in the background, pieces of dialogue that I may have missed the first time, that kind of thing. So. Yeah, it was fun, and again, I like the fact that they put outtakes in the credits. I thought those were kind of fun to watch. Movies don't do that enough anymore. That's one of the things I always like about DVD is the outtakes and the messed up scenes and stuff. Maybe that's something you don't usually get anymore now that DVD is kind of a dying thing.
Maybe that's why I liked, because I'm like, when I said this is like haunt actor type of movie, because I'm like, it's not always going to go right. You may fuck something up, and you just got to roll with it. And you just kind of, I love that he like actually hooks like the boom mic, and he's just like, well, you just got to roll with it sometimes. You just got to keep the punches going. So I kind of get it. You just got to play around. Like Even if like, yeah, you knock the wig off the guy's head when he's trying to blow his head off. It's like, oh, he puts the wig on. I'm like, yeah, you just gotta do dumb shit like that. Like I've chased somebody out before that had the caution tape across their chest because there's a height restriction at one point. I'm like, yeah, I've chased somebody off and they have one of those. Or I take their glow sticks, we put them on our chainsaws, we put the glow sticks on our necks, on our arms. I'll take the caution tape, put it around, or put it around my fucking head like I'm the Karate Kid. It's just funny, dumb shit like that. That makes it fun. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, see what happened to that kid? He didn't listen to me. So.
Let's see. I was just looking this up, and I'm kind of glancing over this list. I'm kind of surprised. This, according to Screen Rant, this is the 15 iconic horror villains ranked by kill count. Number 15 is Norman Bates with 20 kills.
Nice.
The next one is Candyman with 20. It says 22 plus kills. I don't know why it says 22 plus.
Okay.
Let's see. They return to kill anyone seen by saying anything in the rear. You see your dark. Yeah, whatever. It says that the kill count of the franchise and the haunting hook killer will only increase with the release of 2021's Candyman. I don't know how old this is. Leatherface has 31 kills. Ghostface has 35 plus.
Wait, hold on. Leatherface has 31. I think he killed like 31 people just on that bus alone. I don't know if
like I said, this. Let me look.
Yeah, I think this is an old list.
I was like, wait a minute. He killed like 30 people.
Yeah.
This is December. This was updated. It says updated December 30th, 2020. So this is kind of old. I would have to look for a more updated one. Ghostface killed 35 plus. Pinhead killed 35.
Okay.
Chucky killed 38.
Ooh, yeah.
Freddy Krueger has killed 39. Lubden the Leprechaun has got 50 plus kills. Remember that. We talk about that here in a second. Angela Baker from Sleepaway Camp has 55 kills.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah.
I love the Sleepaway Camp movies too.
Yeah.
A relatively new entry, Victor Crowley has 59 kills from 2000.
Oh, the Hatchet movies. Yes. Watch the Hatchet movies. Absolutely.
Jigsaw has 60 kills.
Right. But he didn't really kill anybody.
I didn't.
I hate that morality. That's so stupid.
I don't like this one because I don't think that, for one, I don't think this is a horror film as much as it is, and we've talked about this. I don't think this is horror as much as it is drama, suspense.
Hannibal Lecter.
It's got Hannibal Lecter on here with 98 kills. Whatever. I still don't consider them a horror serial killer. I think it's a different kind of movie. I don't think it's a straight up horror, but whatever. We'll go with it.
Rachel even said it. John Kramer's innocent.
Yeah.
I think Silence of the Lambs is kind of overrated, to be honest with you. But that's
I think it's a fantastic dramatic piece. It was very well written, very well acted. I don't think it's a horror film. I just don't. I'm sorry.
It's a thriller. I think more than anything.
Let's see. The Invisible Man. 123 kills, and they're going back to like the black and white.
Claude Rains, yeah,
they're going back that far. Let's see. It says, see, not only was the Invisible Man a monster, but he was cold-blooded serial killer. When he achieved invisibility, he went insane and started killing anyone who got in his way. He even murdered a train full of people along the way, and his kill count racked up a total of 123 deaths.
People who got in his way, you can't see the fucker.
Now, you want to take a guess on the last two?
It's got to be Michael and Jason. In that order. Yeah.
So who's number one? Who's number two?
Well, no, hold on. You said this was before.
Michael Myers.
This was as of 2020. So
even as of 2020, I'll go Michael Myers number one, Jason two.
I'll just be that guy. I'll switch it. I think it might be Michael and then Jason.
Okay.
Just time.
Now we'll have to do another. We'll have to research this again to get something more updated. Again, this is almost 4. It's about 4 years old now.
Yeah.
It says number two is Mike Myers with 133 kills.
Yeah. Really? Okay.
Thanks to Halloween 2018 reboot sequel, Mike Myers finally pulled ahead of the Invisible Man in the kill count. Michael's considered the first real slasher killer.
Yeah.
A deranged man who escapes from a mental asylum, returning home to kill on Halloween. Outside of the third movie in the series, every other effort added more to Michael's kill list. One of the most iconic horror villains in history. Michael killed in 7 movies in the original franchise. 2 that ramped up the kills in Rob Zombie's remake of the series, and then even more in the 2018 film that was a direct sequel to the first Halloween. All total, Michael Myers has killed 133 people.
Because I was going to say,
this does not include the last 2 films.
Right. Now, I think Tex would be right then in assuming that. I think Michael does pull ahead because of
Michael's probably going to pull ahead because we haven't seen a Friday the 13th in a long time.
Well,
and then it's got Jason number 1 with 151 kills. It says, while Michael Myers was the first, Jason Voorhees became the king in short order. To rise to the top happened even though he wasn't even in the first movie until a jump scare at the end.
Right.
After his mom killed a bunch of teens in his first movie, Jason showed up in Friday the 13th Part 2 and eventually put on the hockey mask and killed teenagers consistently, almost becoming a zombie by the end. Jason killed in 8 of the 9 movies in the original Friday the 13th franchise. He then showed up in outer space in 2002. Fought Freddy in 2003 and later appeared in a reboot in 2009. By the end, Jason Voorhees sat on top of the iconic horror villain throne with 151 kills.
Yeah, I was going to say, I think Tex is actually right, though, currently. I think
I know I am. Because I'm just in Halloween kills alone, it's like 27 to 30. He just goes off in that.
And like I said,
all of Haddonfield dies in that movie, and then it ends. And now I'm not counting the Corey Cunningham nonsense because we don't mention that name in this house. By God, he gets I'd say 5 to 7 by himself. So yeah, I mean with adding those 2 films. Yeah, Michael's on top now, but that list as of 2020 or whatever, they're right. Oh.
And I think Leatherface would definitely get a bump because of the more recent movie.
Yeah.
Like, I think he killed that many people on that bus.
Well, he killed like 20-something just in that one bus scene, plus everybody else in that cast.
I think Leatherface gets a bump because of that too. So I'd love to see an updated list of this because I don't think at that time
I'm gonna look for one when we get off of here. I'll find one.
I have this one. I'll put it in the chat if anybody wants to go read this one. I have one that apparently is from 2 months ago. Ooh. And it's got a surprise up top. It's got a surprise up top. This is according to Collider. This was updated December 28th of 2023. It's got Leatherface at number 12 with 31 victims. It's got Maniac Cop number 11 with 42 victims.
Oh,
the Leprechaun number 10 with 50 plus victims.
Jeez.
It's got Angela Baker number 9 with 55 victims. It's got Freddy number 8 with 63. It's got Victor Crowley number 7 with 64 plus. It's got Jigsaw number 6 with around 66 victims. I like how it says around 66. We don't really know. He just killed a lot of people. Number 5 is Chucky with 67 victims. The Invisible Man is number 4 with 122. Now, here's where it gets a little weird. Michael Myers is number 3 with 160 plus victims.
What?
It says.
How did he go down?
I don't
know.
I'm
on because now I'm on r/horror. Now they have Jason Voorhees undisputed champion at 165, and they have each movie broken down by how many kills. I'm like, Jason has killed a lot of goddamn people, but I think Michael did pull it up there. I don't know.
Oh, I'm not even done yet. Give me a second. Well, it says here about Michael. It says with the Halloween franchise having produced so many movies, blah blah blah. It should be no surprise that his kill count is nearly 200 people. His backstory, motivation, blah, blah. From the genre landmark to this John Carpenter's 78 Halloween to the disaster universally disliked by fans that was David Gordon Green's Halloween Ends. I don't hate it that much. I don't think it was the best, but I didn't hate it. The fear of seeing Mike Myers the mystique of his masked face, the chilling sensation of watching each of his brutal kills haven't worn off one bit. That's true. Now it's got Jason number 2 and 163 plus victims.
Yeah, I said had 165.
Which is pretty close. Yeah, which is right in the ballpark. Sure. I mean, either one of those could be right.
Yeah.
It says none of the movies in this series could have been what you would traditionally call a success. Well, I mean, they're different. It's a different kind of success over time, which may be surprising for a movie as iconic as the original. But those who have taken a liking,
it could be number 1 then.
Style can agree that Jason is one of the most entertaining horror villains of all time. I agree. Number 1, I don't know. I'd have to do a deep dive on this to get a count. Another great villain that has not gotten enough respect, and I really hope that they continue on. Pinhead with 321 plus victims. I don't know about that.
Oh, I don't count that.
There are a lot of movies, but I don't think he's killed that many.
I would exclude Pinhead and Jigsaw. Neither of them should be on this list.
I don't know about that one.
Let's see. Pinhead doesn't.
I mean, technically,
the first Hellraiser movie, he actually only kills one person, doesn't he? In the first one, and the villain has surprisingly limited screen time in the sequel. After that, the villain's kill count only kept racking up. So much so that his exact number of victims is debatable, which is probably one of the reasons why he wasn't on the last we read. However, what's impossible to argue against is that it's him who has the most kills in horror movies. Citation needed. Citation needed. In a single scene set in a nightclub in Hellraiser 3 Hell on Earth, which I haven't seen in a long time, he added over a couple hundred victims to his list. So they're talking really about one scene. Talk about effectiveness.
Well,
Pinhead isn't an outright.
If we're going by those rules.
But the third one shows him becoming a force of pure chaos, destruction, and violence. He is he's a truly intimidating presence and an entertaining character to watch in action. I agree. When asking which horror character has the most kills, Pinhead is an answer you can't go wrong with. I don't know. I would need citation needed. That's all I'm saying. Citation needed.
Well, if we're going by those rules, they don't even mention the Firefly family from the Devil's Rejects trilogy. Go back and look in that house in the beginning of the Devil's Rejects and see the mounds of corpses that are laying in that house. Like, they're not even counting those. Like, I don't know. I got questions on that.
Someone said something on Reddit. I don't know what it is. I know I need Tex to do his little thing here. It said, somebody said, like, dude, the Collector, he killed a whole nightclub. I was like, who the fuck are you talking about?
Yeah. The Collector, the poster of the film it's a guy, and you see him from the back, and he's tying like a mask over his head. The Collector is another one of those kind of beam. It's a good movie, but it's technically the Collector was originally going to be a prequel to the Saw films, but when in the making of it, it got diverted and it ended up becoming its own thing. But I could see, I don't know his kill count, but I could see that being on there as well, too.
Someone said, like, he killed a whole nightclub. I was like, well, that's a lot of damn people. So,
Digital Trends. I'm looking at an article from Digital Trends. It was from October of last year. Their top 5 is pretty much the same as the Collider list. It's got Freddy with 63, Victor Crowley 64, Jason 163, Mike Myers at least 165, and Pinhead with at least 200.
Yeah, because like I want to go back because I want to say I think it's 27. Is the number that Michael kills and Halloween kills. I believe that's the number that I remember hearing. Because, I mean, he just butchers Haddonfield. They turn him loose.
Okay, I let that, because obviously Reddit is the pinnacle of all things truthful. But I downed that, I expanded that list. It does have Jason on top, then Michael, and it does only go to 2018. So, yeah, it's still not. Because they have Jason at 165, and they have each movie how many kills he does. Because I would have loved to have seen it, because it says Michael's right behind him at 133, and it only goes to 2018. So kills definitely put him up above that. I'm for fucking sure. Then they got Chucky, Pinhead, Krueger, Leatherface, and that's all I got. So,
my only problem with the Jason thing, if they're counting any of those from Jason Goes to Hell, where his body is destroyed and he's inhabiting others, you could argue that Jason doesn't get those kills because technically they were done by somebody else, even though he was inside of them.
True.
You could argue taking away all of those.
That I think is actually the highest. This person's list here, they have Jason Goes to Hell, The Final Friday has 25, and that's the highest one.
So that's what I'm saying, because I mean, Jason's not Jason in that movie. Jason is like a weird worm thing, and like that's I would put an asterisk next to that one as well.
How come they? Oh, okay. It's kind of funny how the movie that we definitely love the most about Texas Chainsaw, The Next Generation, there's only one guy who actually dies. I don't know what you're talking about. That doesn't exist.
I
know. I've watched it just to watch it, but I would not watch it again.
I don't need to see full Kim Hinkle for everything good that he did in the Texas Chainsaw franchise should be hung for what he did to Leatherface, turn him into a screaming weirdo kind of. I mean, okay, it's one thing to wear the pretty lady mask.
A woman before, but yeah,
okay. It's one thing to wear the pretty lady mask. It's another thing to go while you're dressed like a full blown woman. Just saying, Kim Hinkle, you should be arrested for what you did to Texas Chainsaw. You will never be
like
forgiven
a grandma in the
sir.
first movie, and it was still better than that.
Right.
Like, I don't know what. I don't
It's
know
one
what the
thing
hell
to
that
wear
movie
the
was.
skin. It's another to have a skin suit with a dress that fits him, and he acts like he's an old Southern woman. That's not okay.
I know they were trying to go.
We don't talk about Next Generation.
I know they were trying to go for the whole Ed Gein thing. I'm like, that's probably more accurate to the actual serial killer you're going for.
Yeah, but Kim Hinkle, that whole thing where the Sawyers, which they're not really the Sawyers, aren't they the Slaughter family in that movie or something like? There's like 5 different name changes, and how they're connected to the Illuminati. They just pop up out of nowhere. And like, what are you doing, dude? You smoked too much before you made this movie. That one doesn't count.
You know what?
Ixnay that one off the list.
I think Frank's right. Pinhead here, like Hellraiser, he only has 1 kill. 2 is actually he didn't kill anybody.
Well,
yeah, the 3
Hellraiser, Hell on Earth.
16.
Yeah,
he
3 is where they. That's why I always ask when we're having a Pinhead conversation is, do you like the original intent of the Hell Priest, or do you like Pinhead where he comes to Earth and he just becomes a knockoff Freddy Krueger slasher? Because they're 2 drastically different characters.
Yeah, he doesn't have a whole lot. I think 3 is his biggest. And I am surprised that Freddy is as low as he is, because really, he's pretty well evened out, like just single digits. Yeah, no, I'd like to see an update.
I'm surprised Victor Crowley is as low as he is, because they've done 4. They've done 3 Hatchet movies, and then the 4th one was titled Victor Crowley, and he racks up body counts like he's Jason on steroids. Which, funny enough, Kane Hodder actually plays that role of Victor Crowley. So
hold on, how many movies are in the Wrong Turn series? There's like fucking how many of those?
There's like 7 or 8, dude. There's a lot.
Yeah, and you're gonna tell me these like inbred rednecks didn't kill a whole lot of people in these movies? No, wait a damn second, because now I'm getting into that.
Is it multiple people in the inbred redneck group of people, or is it one person?
Oh yeah, no. It's different cannibal hillbillies every time. They're just all of the same clan.
They kill a lot of people in those movies. They got to. And I only saw like the first 2. I don't even think I saw. I didn't know they made 7 movies of that shit.
Unfortunately, I've seen all of them. Don't watch the remake of Wrong Turn because it's woke garbage and it's nothing like the others. Do not waste your time. Yes, but it's nothing but they remade Wrong Turn. The same guy that wrote the originals came back. He remade his own movie. It is the wokest horror. It is more woke than the Netflix Texas Chainsaw is. It is bad, dude. I'm telling you, it's horrible. Stay away.
At least they fucking killed those kids, because I'm like, my God, he grabbed that curly-haired bitch and just cut her head off. I'm like, thank you, God. I wanted her to die the first time she opened her mouth.
Stay away from the.
Jesus. Do
whatever you can to stay away from the Wrong Turn remake. I unfortunately paid to go see it in theaters, and I wanted my money back. But
remember how I said there was. I had a high school girlfriend now that I thought about it, I'm like, man, we did that a lot. We sat down and watched all the Saw movies that were at that time that were out. We also went and got, I think it was only Wrong Turn and Wrong Turn 2 that were out at that point. We went and watched those right back to back. So I'm like, God damn, I did a lot of horror movie watching with this person. So, I was like, it's
technically Jigsaw's kills. Some of those belong to Hoffman, some belong to Amanda, some are Dr. Gordon, some are John Kramer. He shouldn't be on this list whatsoever, because there's 4 people doing that.
See, Rachel's sitting right there. John Kramer is innocent, right there.
Yeah.
That's a good place to wrap this thing up. Thanks to my amazing co-host for being so awesome as usual, bringing their brilliant insight into all things horror and blood and spit and ass into this.
You call that brilliant? Is it brilliant or is it brain? Is it brilliant or is it brain rot? It's either one of those things. I'm not sure, but.
No, it's called head cheese. What they were originally going to call Texas Chainsaw Massacre, and I'm glad you didn't.
Yeah, that would have sucked.
Tex, where can the folks at home find you on the internet, my friend?
Oh, here Tuesdays and Thursdays. I don't have a recommendation because I got home like 5 minutes before we went live tonight. So instead, I'm going to recommend that you go to Tubi and watch something that you've never seen before of the horror variety. Just dig through. There's thousands of selections. Just don't watch any trailers. Just pick an image, just like Frank did with this film. You may hate it, you may love it, but you know what? You'll experience something new. So that's what I'm going to say for this one.
And to my hetero life mate, Jeremy, where can the folks at home find you, my friend?
I'm here every. Thank you.
It's been a while since we've had a cameo.
Yeah, I know. Since I decided to, sit like with my back against this now, but that's how I get 2 monitors. I don't know. I might have to put that spread back over there where it used to be, so she can actually do her goofy shit now. What was I gonna say? Oh, I think I know what I need to do with that little intro. I always say that I'm here Tuesdays and Thursdays, same bat time, same bat channel. Maybe I need to change the word bat to something that relates to the movie. So like I say, same clown time, same clown channel. I don't fucking know. I'll play with it. It could be
That's what you said.
It could be the 2 or 3 shots of whiskey I'm down. That could be talking, but yeah, hey man, hey, you don't understand. I mean, I know it's YouTube and they're going to take me down for it, but this is single barrel proof Jack Daniels. This is expensive good shit. So I'm not going to let it go to waste. It was for my birthday, and I
the
fucking
stuff
got
that I sip on ain't got no label, my friend. You know what I'm saying? So,
well, look,
cheers.
I got that unknown virus of an unknown origin. It's from somewhere in the world on my birthday, so I didn't get to enjoy it. I was I was doing so well, and that just kicked my ass. But now I'm here Tuesdays, Thursdays, and as I think I mentioned, I've been playing the Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League, and honestly, I'm having fun with it. It's the same deal. Turn off your brain. It's just comic books. No one cares. Enjoy the fun storyline of the Justice League getting their mind absolutely zapped by Brainiac and coming to kill you. Because I think I already know what's going to happen, because I'm like, you already ruined that Bruce Wayne is Batman in this world. You would have to go apocalyptic to where everyone fucking dies because they'd have to forget about that. Because all you got to do is, I'm like, oh, you have to kill them. I'm like, yeah, but you could just save Flash, have him do his Speed Force bullshit, and boom, it's reset. I know people are like, oh, that's so stupid. I'm like, but that's what it is. It's comic books. Let it happen. Look,
I'm not going to say anything.
I know, don't yet. I haven't played. That was my prediction. Because I'm like, you already outed Batman. So you'd have to basically go apocalyptic levels of like, no, this is how no one would remember that. And then you'd maybe have to speed force it back into the right timeline. I don't know. I'll see how that goes. Also, I can't play. I think either Elon or somebody at Epic Games is taking down my tweets just because I sit here and complain about, look, I had to force myself to play more than 2 fucking games of Fortnite because it's just absolute nonsense and ridiculous. So fix your skill-based matchmaking, because I'm getting tired of being in a game where someone gets 17 fucking kills and he Y spams like he's playing COD. I'm like, dude, you're playing Fortnite. Chill. It's not real life. Okay. It's not even fun anymore. So I'm just waiting for the season to end before I bash my head into the fucking TV screen.
But we should get about another month.
Yeah, I think the beginning of like March or something, it's over. I've already completed the battle pass. I've got all the rewards. I've grinded it out. I don't want to grind anymore for the bonus stuff because it looks absolutely fucking terrible, because I don't know why the bonus items always look like absolute shit. If I wanted to see them wearing stained glass full fucking outfits, I don't know, because I don't care. So that's my rant for Epic Games. But they're partnering with Disney, so whatever the fuck that means.
Well, that's going to go with them.
I think Disney.
It's Disney a big partnership if what we saw was
right, but I'm like, I think I hear what the undertone Bob is saying. Our Disney Plus lost $11 billion fucking dollars. We need help.
Hey, for what it's worth, Gina Carano is suing Disney, and I hope she takes them for everything that she can get. I hope she burns the place down. Lucasfilm, all of it, take it all down. So, go Gina Carano.
I didn't see that on my 2024 bingo card that Gina Carano was going to sue Disney with the help of Elon Musk. I was like,
I hope Elon and Gina Carano co-own Lucasfilm Disney Studios. By the time they're done, get rid of Iger, get rid of whoever's
Kathleen Kennedy,
ruining everything. I want to see Kathleen Kennedy drug into the town square, put in the stocks, and have tomatoes thrown at her head. Buy Gina Carano. That's what I want to see. So go, Gina. go eat off.
Kathleen Kennedy can keep saying the Force is steaming with Star Wars. Oh, except for you. I'm like, yeah, come on. Cara Dune was my favorite new character introduced in the Star Wars. She was badass. I loved her story.
Oh, yeah.
Her and Bill Burr had a really cool character arc. They were people that were affected by this Civil War so hard, and they had to basically, war is hell, so they had to pull themselves out of the depths of that shit. So they both had really cool characters, and she was my favorite one to play with the Lego Star Wars game. She was pretty cool. But I hate you for what you did to her. I hope she wins. That was my stupid rant. I'm sorry.
That'll play out however it plays out. I don't know if I heard something if she's trying to sue for a job back, but at this point, why?
No. I don't think so. I think she wants to do it just to do it because I'm like, I wouldn't go back either.
I hope she
go back.
I hope her and Elon end up owning the thing together, and they just make the most anti-woke stuff just to correct the bell curve that Disney's gone on in the last 10 years. That'd be tremendous.
If you made just a show like a little spinoff of Cara Dune, I'd watch it because they kind of left it out that she was going to go join those guys. Yeah, so
you know what I may do? I may try to squeeze it in the schedule for the next few weeks. I mean, we were talking about it on our chat room on Twitter. We have to do Lady Ballers just to do it.
Yes, we do. Yeah,
that trailer is just too damn funny. I mean, part of me really wants to see it, so I may have to. Put up for a Daily Wire subscription for a month to see what they got going on there because Lady Ballers is funny.
Hell yeah!
But we may have some fun with that. As for me, you can find me here every Tuesday and Thursday, just like BJ's here every Tuesday and Thursday. She's always here. She's our show mom, after all.
Hell yeah!
She's here every Tuesday and Thursday. Going over all
one of our best.
Reviewing whatever movie we feel like reviewing from one week to another. We're going to be back here on Tuesday talking about another classic 90s horror. The first time we were ever given Jennifer Aniston was on Leprechaun from 1993. Yep. I have not seen this movie in a long, long time. I remember.
I bet nobody told her life was going to go that way. That's all I'm saying. I got a feeling it.
You're going to find a Leprechaun and your big break's going to come in a B-rate horror movie. Then you're going to do one of the biggest television shows in history. You're going to marry Brad Pitt and whatever. So I'm sure that when she was filming this, she was filming this, she thought this was going to make her a star. Yeah.
But Frank,
well, hold on.
When we
was Office Space? Was that after? Yeah, it was 99. That was after. Yeah.
Yeah, it was after.
So yeah,
Tuesday when we review this, guys, I'll be here for you. I'll be here to review it with you. Don't worry, it's not a big deal. So it's fine. So cheesy puns out of the way. I'm done now. You can throw tomatoes at me now. I deserve it. It's fine. So no worries.
Yeah. I'm gonna have to think of a good background. So for a rainbow with the gold at the end of it, it's gonna be like right here.
No, take the coffee shop from Friends, but put Leprechaun in the middle of the couch or something. Do something like that. Whatever.
That'd be kind of dope.
That'd be funny.
Central Perk serves Irish coffee now.
Irish coffee.
Get the Highland grog.
Thank you all for coming to hang out with us tonight. We very much appreciate it. We'll see you again on Tuesday to do Leprechaun. Don't forget to check out the merch store. The link was in the chat somewhere. It's also in the description. We appreciate you guys very much. We'll see you next time. Till then.
Thurman is Raw coming soon.
Right.
I really hope they approve that design. I mean, it's not like I put his dick on it or anything. It's just a picture of Casey.
No, you didn't rip his dick off. Put it on a balloon. You're fine.
That would have been a cool.
Yeah, it's.
I mean, if somebody wants to design a cool shirt for the show, I mean, I'll give you a couple of bucks for it to buy it from you. I mean, I'm not against it. It's got to be funny. And cool, you know what I mean?
Just make fun of Casey.